Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of Help. I'm now an adult. It's exciting. So with me here today, I have my mentor, my copy coach. Forerunner. I don't even know how to describe Kwame because he's everything. Like
I'm confused.
He's the business tycoon. He's the real estate tycoon. He's the logistic tycoon. You should know how many industries he's running. He's running so many things, and he's so humble. And I'm so honored to be in his presence. With fear and trembling, I come in your presence. And welcome, Kwame. How are you feeling today?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I'm okay. I'm cool. I'm stressed. What else?
Do people do you get stressed? Is it possible?
Well, it's natural. I mean, how do you go through life without stress? You just said it now.
Yeah, I know.
You don't put life in people's names if you're not serious. So, you
should not be getting. By the way, Kwame is
a.
How do you call yourself? Digital therapist. As a therapist, you can't afford to be stressed.
Yeah, I can't afford to be stressed.
But so I'm your therapist. So
I take my words back. Yes, I am not stressed. But in life, you just have to go through things and motions that we have to jump up, jump hoops, and get to the place where we want to feel comfortable. So we want comfort, and we just go through things that will make us get there.
Yeah.
So I guess while getting there, if you get bogged down by those things that keep you from getting to your goal, then that's why we call it stress.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, lovely. Well, on this show, we're trying to talk about adulting. Like, I mean, you're still young. We're like 20, 25, 16. Thereabouts. So we're trying to have conversations about like adulting, different areas of being an adult. So from finances to career path to families, relationship, because that's everything together, to I did say money because that's very important. Super important.
Extremely important.
But so far in your life so far, because I feel like you're ahead of the rest of us, or some of us, how's that been like? At what point did you figure out things, or are you still figuring things out? Does it ever end? Or is it that on the way you just, every new day, every new moment is a new situation and you find a way to face it? So how's that been for you in terms of adulting? How's adulting been for you?
Okay, so maybe I'm a bit peculiar.
Yeah.
I guess I was made to be an adult as early as 9, 10.
Wow.
And that's because I guess my dad was made to be an adult at the age of 9. So at the age of 9, he was already in Lagos. We come from the East.
Yeah.
And so imagine people hear, oh, your father was in Lagos at the age of 9. That's rare.
So I don't understand, he went by himself?
No. It was so basically his parents couldn't afford his school fees.
Okay.
They couldn't afford one child's school fees out of maybe 5 or 6 of them. So he had this zeal to, I want to do something. I want to read, I want to blah, blah, and then he can't send me to school. Okay. So he was restlessness, and I guess they just realized, look, let's take this guy to Lagos, where his uncle is there and all that. And he gets there and he gets a job.
Amazing.
At the age of 9.
Exactly. Wait, what?
So what is he doing? He's an apprentice. So basically, I'm sure you see, maybe someone comes to your house, a plumber, and you see a small guy come with him. Yeah. Though it's not allowed because it's supposed to be a certain age. But as an apprentice, that's what they call you. So it's like he's learning, so that he gets to the stage when he's 18, he can now become a proper plumber or something. So that's what he was doing. So in his own case, he was a radio technician. So and he was learning under. So I'm sure I guess his uncle arranged that.
Yeah.
So that he could do that, since they couldn't afford the school fees. That way, they saw it as okay. As he's working, he doesn't get the salary, but the guy who's making the money will give the money to the uncle and say, okay, keep that for whatever it is
that he needs.
So I think he's growing 11, 12, 13, and he starts to he's developing an interest in reading. He's always had interest in reading, and then he finds his way to the library. So he closes from work or from apprenticeship scheme or whatever, and then goes to the library. Stays there till night, reading all the books he can read.
Wow.
Every single thing. So history is number one.
That's why you know history so much.
That's why he forces on us.
Yeah.
He says history is the solution. Once you can understand the history of anything that you see, then you can understand why different things are happening as they're happening.
Yeah.
Because there are reasons why people do what they do. They don't just do them, they just wake up and do them.
Yeah.
So he read himself all the way to A levels by himself.
Wow.
And then got into University of Nsukka also for studied philosophy.
Books.
So he understood. So basically, he read up, governments, different types of social society living, capitalism, communism. That's how we got our names. There's Lenin, remember?
Yeah.
Lenin is a socialist.
So you named all of you after
He had socialist tendencies and socialist ideals.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what happened, and from there he became a lawyer at University of Ife. The point is that he didn't go to school to do that. He did it self-made.
Wow.
So now a self-made man now gives birth to us and starts to try to imprint
those same
these things on
values.
us. He doesn't have. By at that time he could afford to do these things for us. Instead of buying the Benzes and co that everybody was buying, he was basically engaging us in full education. And when I say education, from reading books, reading history, read all the religions you can think of. He put everything there. So you wake up, your house, you build your house, you have books all over the place.
Wow.
And he just says, go read, go read, go read, go read, go read. So imagine us, age of 6, 7, 8, we're already reading.
Wow.
Then he comes up with, do this, do music, do piano, do tennis. So we wake up, we go to school, we come back, and there's a teacher waiting for us for everything you can think about. The only thing we didn't do was swimming. I don't know why.
It's a bit of water.
Yeah. So he basically anything he found that himself he didn't do or couldn't do, and he couldn't express himself. He
passed it
on
on to
to
you
us.
guys. So in some way, you were kind of homeschooled.
We're homeschooled while we're doing doing proper school as well.
Yeah.
And that made us, especially me, I was number one, so I had a lot of responsibility. I have to do this, I have to get this. Kwame, you must get to black belts. You must get to the grade 8 Royal School of Music. You must get to grade 8 Royal School of Music for piano. You must get to, so that was, and I had the kind of personality that agrees, agreeable. I'm not fighting it. I might be not liking it, but I'm not fighting it.
Yeah.
But that also makes me now excel. So I basically got to the zenith of all these things he wanted us to do. I was probably one of the only ones. And that made me an adult.
Yeah.
My mates were doing, what do you call it, chasing girls, all that stuff. I was at home. Had the lecturer. Then, to make things worse, 1984, he bought an IBM PS230. Do you know an IBM PS230?
We're not bonding. You said 84?
No, but Google it.
I was still being formed in heaven.
Google it now. IBM PS230 or IBM PS2 Model 30. That's like your, I don't know, I'm trying to think of maybe these days now, what's your gangster PC or gangster digital or gangster technology equipment.
Is it like
that was
PS5?
what it was then.
Oh,
Like PS5 is even gaming.
Yeah.
IBM PS2 was a computer, a desktop computer.
Oh.
It was the revolution at the time.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was like this is the zenith of this generation. This is what will take IBM to the next super level. At this time, Microsoft had just come out with their DOS, disk operating system, DOS, which was manually done. So what you see as Windows today, the back end was actually DOS. So we learned DOS.
Wow.
Yeah, right in our garage. And he bought it not to give us, he didn't get a teacher or anything. He says, go tinker with it.
Wow.
And then the PS230, the PS230 was 30,000 naira in 1984, which is $30,000. So like I just tell you how much he was spending just to make sure that we,
You had that knowledge.
yes. So today, at our age, we still school Gen Z. Or for example, I'm at home and my nieces are around 12, 13, 14, and they have assignments. And what are they supposed to do with the assignments? Supposed to get this done, bring it out, PDF it, print it, bring it out there, blah blah blah. And they always get stuck. But but Gen Z, they're not resilient. So all they're just going is, it's not just working. It's not just working.
Gen Z is so like stress.
Yeah.
I can't claim Gen Z. I'm not quite. Maybe I mean, what gen will I be in? Millennial. I'm a millennial. So I can't. Yeah.
So my daughter tells them, gives them expo. My father is, so Uncle Kwame. And then next thing, so okay, I get my phone. Where is it? WhatsApp it to me. Blah blah blah. I search for the thing. The Wi-Fi, and it prints out. They're like, okay. So
possible.
it's possible. So the thing is, it's that background, that foundation that enables us to be able to adapt to anything that comes now. No matter what you bring now, no matter what technology you bring now that's based on PC, Windows, whatever, it's easy for us to just take it up because we have the foundation already. And we tinkered with it. We're not taught. We're not said, it wasn't said, oh, Kwame, so this is how you do this. No.
You're allowed to
we did it ourselves. So there's a
it.
time all of us are playing games. It's games now. Play the game, and then one day something broke. It wasn't working again. dir/s. So your file manager.
Coding.
Yeah, so your file manager, you know what file manager Windows
Yeah.
is actually dir slash whatever it is. So dir/s means directory,
Yeah.
which is the file manager that you see on Windows now, but it's actually the same thing. So you start dir and then all your files just roll out in the
Yeah. You guys were coding before coding was a thing.
It was then.
I love it.
So yeah, it was then. So that enabled us to. So basically, the point is, yeah, we broke. So basically, we broke something. When I say broke, it was the computer was not responding, and we heard the horn.
I said, your father is back.
So we're dead, though. We're dead. He entered the house. One of us snuck back to. So we had a house where there was a tenant. So we ran to the tenant. Apparently, the tenant was a computer engineer.
Oh.
So we ran to him and begged him to please teach us how to unlock whatever it is, so. And then he quickly taught us. And then we went back, tried it, and it worked.
Wow. How old were you guys at this point?
Maybe I was 10, 11.
Oh my, you guys are really adulting at 9, 10.
Exactly. So that's why I say, when you say adults, if this team is about adulting, I started when I was like that.
But do you feel like you missed out on some part of your childhood, or
Of course
there was
not.
nothing to compare to, or
You always miss out on something now, like Michael Jackson. Now. There's what we should have been doing at that time was doing what children do. Play. So it helps build cognitive development. I studied psychology.
yeah.
So that also now taught me that you should allow the children to play at the time. For him, he already understood the Nigeria we were in. He knows the history of Nigeria. He knows the Nigeria to look forward to.
Yeah.
He knows how it's going. So what does he do? Let him make sure his children are ready
To fix
mentally for that. Now we became, that's why we say we're adults at a very early
Young age.
But that's helped us tremendously, because if not, we'd have jackpot since now.
it. But do you have any regrets for not like having maybe some form of childhood, or do you think that maybe your dad was maybe somewhat able to find the balance between childhood and making you guys adults at an early age?
Yeah, I think he tried to make a balance because one, we went to school, so we had our friends over there.
Yeah.
So he didn't deny us of that. Then two, he made it regimented in such a way that, okay, you come back from school, you still do your siesta, make sure you rest after eating and all that, and then you do your lessons, which are these
Different things.
that come up every day. Then of course, once in a while, of course we traveled. So we travel when we travel, we're not doing anything. We're not doing we're relaxing.
Okay.
So that is probably his own way of
Finding the balance.
The thing is that knowing stuff today, I would say he tried, maybe he didn't get it right 50-50.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely some regrets. You meet your friends who, for example, people have to force me to say, enjoy yourself till today. But sometimes when you see me enjoying myself, or maybe people that have known me for a while and I'm hanging out with them and they know that I can be really serious. My face is all, why are you squeezing your face now? Smile now, laugh now, hey. Then one day, I'm the total opposite of what, and all of them are looking like this. They're watching, they're like, they can't believe what they're seeing. So I think that's what I mean by, those are some of the regrets, because I can't just force myself to be, that's why I always say, if you tell me, Kwame, we're going to do this podcast now, and it's going to be like this, and it's going to be like that,
It'll just stress you out.
just stress me out. Next thing, I'm going to be very serious. But if you surprise me,
Can be the children.
don't even tell me when you're putting on the camera. The minute you say, I'm putting on the camera now.
I'm not sure that I'm putting on the camera now.
So those are what I see as what are the negatives
Yes.
of what he did. But like I said, I was an adult from day one.
Wow.
Right.
I have a question. Serious question. As you're an adult, were you getting paid? Did you have a job?
Okay, so let me give you an example.
Okay.
We had this, apart from all these things, taekwondo,
Yeah.
sportsy things. We did French. We even had an arts teacher. Why?
Wow.
Because when he's come back, when he lands at the airport, and you have to carry your bag from this place to that place, it was very stressful. He was like, why can't we have something that moves from here to there? I can put your bag on and so and so. And he thought about it, and he could have gone back home if he was an artist or had an idea, made a sketch,
Yeah.
and then takes it to an engineer and says, hey, why can't we build this? And then that would transform, because apparently that was an invention that transformed the airports.
Oh wait, your dad came up with the trolleys.
No, you know the what do you call that thing now?
With
The
the
thing you
conveyor
stand
belt.
on, the conveyor belt that takes you from here to here. When you go to the airport, go to Heathrow now, go to wherever. You stand on it and it moves you from here.
Okay, the
It's not an escalator. The escalator is the one that goes up, right? Then there's one that goes on the ground.
Yeah.
You step on.
okay step and then it takes you.
And it's
Yes.
almost
yes.
like a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes it easier for you to
Move your. Oh yeah. I see what you mean. So you just keep moving your
keep
back
moving.
without you moving.
Yes. So in the past, now maybe the 60s, 70s, there was no such thing. You just move your bags by yourself. And then he just thought about it one day.
Wow.
He says, "Oh, we need to do something like this," but he didn't have the capacity to draw.
Yeah.
So he says he doesn't want us to have that. Doesn't want to be hampered by that. He says, "Okay, I think it's better to get somebody who can bring
Show
out
you how
your
to- yeah.
whatever to illustrate what comes to your mind when it comes to your mind."
Wow.
So you can see how deep it was.
I'm just thinking, did I have parents? I'm just thinking, wow.
So you can
I
see how
have a
deep it
lot to
was.
measure up for my children. Oh, wow.
Every lesson teacher, whatever he has brought, is based on something that he has realized on his environment that looks like needs, and then says, okay, since he doesn't have it, he
That
makes sure that
his
we have
kids
it.
have it. It's amazing.
Yeah, so that's how we're able to. What was the question again?
I was asking you if you were getting paid, if you had like a job.
So he basically came up one day. He had met some guy, engineering guy, near the house, and when I say engineering guy, the guy had come from the US, brought up all his tools and basically all them engineering tools and the stuff you do with carpentry, plumbing, all the gadgets.
Yeah.
And then he approached the guy. He says, come. Entered into a long conversation with the guy. Oh, the guy says, he's an engineer, trained in the US, but he was tired of sitting in an air-conditioned office.
Yeah.
He wants to do what he was really trained to do, which is solve practical problems, help with maintenance of people's houses and all that. So he said, my children, because I'm sure he was thinking about him when he did his own.
Yeah.
And that's how we got in there as apprentices for what do you call it?
With all the many things you're doing.
Yeah, so we did a year with him, apprenticeship.
Wow.
So we'll build wheelbarrows, for example. So we'll be able to transport items that we need or equipment that we need to go do whatever maintenance we need to do in people's houses in the neighborhood.
Wow.
So we'll go there, we'll bandy around him, he'll show us how to, okay, this door, this is what you do, this hinges, you bring it out, this is the screw you use, blah, blah. We'll go back. Then so basically we started doing jobs. People call, and then we go with him.
Amazing. And how old were you at this time?
12.
Wow. I'm just like, what was I doing at 12 in my life? I was watching Disney and Cartoon Network.
Yeah, but he still tried though. We'll go watch cinema. We read comics. Comics was our Marvel comics
for me,
was
it's
our
how
big
he
thing.
found the perfect balance for me. Like today we're so distracted between Instagram and Facebook and all the. Which time would I have to be teaching? I'm mind blown. No,
Exactly.
I'm actually mind blown. So you guys were getting money from that?
Yeah. So because when they pay the guy, maybe they give him 10K or 5K. Well, at the time it was 500 naira, for example.
Yeah.
And he give us maybe my 20 naira, you 20 naira, you 20 naira.
Amazing. So what did you do with the money?
We'll save it now.
They even you save it. Thank God.
Because we're not. Where are we going?
Yeah.
We're not.
Did you save everything? Or you did 10%, 5%? Maybe even 30% saving.
It's policy that took it down. Policy take it and put inside whatever I put it. I can't remember what happens to the money. All I know is that when I went to school, you say, okay, this is your money, blah blah. So yeah.
So wait, no, he gave you the money back when you were going to school.
No. What I'm saying is that he must have, because we gave it to him. Now. We didn't. Where are we going to? There was no way for us to spend it.
Yeah.
So we just give it to him. Then he'll keep it for us in quotes.
They always keep it for us. All the money they've kept for me since I was a child. I'm not even saying the money. Let's just say that I went into school fees.
Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, your story is amazing. I just start thinking about my life, my future, what kind of parent I want to be. How do I find the balance of all the distractions for this Gen Z?
So as I say, we already were responsibility officers.
Yeah.
That age. So, I mean, I don't think I dated anyone until I was maybe 21. When I was in uni.
So there's not like big shock for you?
Big shock.
Yeah.
No, big shock what that thing.
Because normally when people go through all this easiness, childhood, teenagehood, and then they get thrown into the real world. I call it the real world because that's when you actually have to start working for your money, learning how to manage resources, learning how to pay this, pay that.
So it doesn't apply to us now.
Exactly. Because you're already doing that as a child. So that's why so you don't even have adulting problem. You're already adulting from.
That's why I said the first thing I said before I even started was I don't think this applies to me.
Yes. No, which is very interesting because I haven't met anybody that, was brought up in that way. So it's quite exciting. I mean, I was responsible at a young age, but I will still say that I was still a child. Because I didn't do a lot of some of these things until maybe, I think my first job was at 16. And even when I got my job at 16, my parents were like, why are you working? Focus on school. I literally fought them to work because I was like, how am I going to, they're going to ask me for 20 years experience. From where?
No way.
Where am I going to borrow the experience from? So I was like, I need to start now where I'm 16. So by the time I'm like 20 and asking me for experience, at least I can show them that I have 4.
Do you sometimes wonder where you got that revelation from?
Actually,
it's not normal to get it.
I actually don't because like my parents were not on the same page as I am. I think I've just always been very adventurous and just very business-like.
So I can relate that to my dad because at the age of 9, he was already feeling that way. And I'm wondering, where did that come from?
Where did that come from? I think I felt like responsible to contribute. I think maybe it maybe came from an empathetic nature of not allowing someone to do so much. So I wanted to support my mom because back then my mom was like single, like she was by herself and she was doing a lot of the financial burdens herself. So I just felt like I need to be responsible. Maybe if I can help support pay my rent, because I was in England, like pounds was not cheap. It was more expensive now, but still wasn't cheap. So I was like, if I can maybe contribute by paying my rent or something, maybe it would help. But she was like, focus on your work, I'll sort it out. But I just couldn't allow myself. Then whereas I had friends who didn't care and they would spend their parents' money and spend their money. But I just felt like she must be going through so much, So maybe I open it back to like my nature of just caring,
The empathy.
empathy. Yeah.
You had it early, and it just
Yes.
because one thing I've learned is that our personalities are so, so varied.
Yeah.
Yeah, and no matter, you can put two people, you can get two people, two babies born same time, put them in the same controlled environment, and they'll turn out differently.
Honestly.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
understand.
I mean, it's very interesting to hear. And I'm so happy that your experience is different because I feel like a lot of people will be so excited to hear this. And for some people, maybe they can't change their childhood to adulthood, but maybe they can do something better for their
For the
future.
future.
Or maybe they can realize that it's really not that deep, and
Exactly.
everything is a journey. So, I mean, I have two more questions for you.
Okay.
My first question would be, can you tell us what you do and what that journey has been like for you? Because for a lot of people, one of the biggest factor for stress is finding purpose. I'm looking for my purpose, looking for it under the table, under the chair. Everyone's always looking for this thing, and it's like the world's biggest question, the most Googled question. And people don't realize that it's not something tangible that you can say this is it. And I think even purpose changes over time and over a certain period of time. Personally, I feel like our purpose is in God, and then that's what gives you from there. Then He leads your path. So, but a lot of people that, let's say, are not Christians or are not into that relationship with God, don't they cannot just comprehend that purpose is in God. So it's more like I'm searching for what I'm good at, that constant search. So like I would like to hear what you're doing now and what that journey was like for you to get to where you are now. And now that you're here, is that journey still changing?
So yeah, okay, where I am now, um, I'm a trained lawyer. And before I became a trained lawyer, I studied, I studied psychology.
Yeah.
And right now, I am trying to how do you put my potential. I still have potential. That's what I see myself as. I don't. All the achievements I've had before today, I don't usually hold them as solid
Yeah.
because, like you said, people's purpose can always change, and those changes usually, I think, comes from different motivations. I met someone today, and I had this strong feeling about the way the person handles his life, and I realized that, oh my God, I wish I could be like that.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to move towards what and gravitate towards what he's doing to do what I've seen in me purpose.
Yes.
It doesn't change my training as a lawyer. Why? Because I have clients who have built over decades and they still want me to keep doing the work, so I'll keep being a lawyer. But purpose wise, it will just always keep changing. The
Yeah.
economy is this way now. My mind starts to wonder, okay, what do I do now, or what do I fit in to
Yeah.
be able to see how I can do this. So I keep having to have an agile mind to keep abreast with what is
Happening.
happening. So I would say that the purpose in life for me is always to keep an adaptive mind, an agile mind. That's always been my driving force towards keep going.
Yeah.
I don't mind learning new things. I learn things every day, and it's me. I'm a slow learner. It takes me a while. When I get it, then I perfect it.
Yeah.
Then it becomes like that. But if you call me again and say, oh, I need this, so there's this thing, blah blah blah, and I say, okay, what is it? And I start to try to understand it. So yeah, I would say officially, I want to be, for example, the the greatest real estate lawyer known, right? That kind of thing. I also want to be able to continue to express myself in other ventures, which makes me an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I'm good at setting up things quickly, while people are
Trying to, yeah.
procrastinating and dilly-dallying. I'm quick to do that. It's difficult finding people who can stay
Rest, yeah.
abreast with what I'm with me, but when I find them, then the best comes out of it.
True.
Yeah. In terms of how it has led here, it was confusion.
I'm so glad you mentioned confusion because honestly, I feel like
It's
that's everybody's
confusion.
life. And when people
It's
feel confused, they're
confusion.
like, there's something wrong with them, but there's nothing wrong with us.
Nothing, nothing.
Confusion is
It's
normal.
perfectly normal.
Okay, great.
It's perfectly normal. I was confused. Imagine a child faced with those kind of responsibilities,
Yeah.
with all those things to do, several things. When I was in school, I was advised to do science and arts. Some people are their background. I mean, maybe you test them, they're doing math, they're doing physics, and they're doing badly. And then but their English is good. I mean, their arts is good.
Yeah.
So you try to push them towards art. Maybe the counselor for the school will have a talk with you and like advise you, advise the parents. Maybe you should move towards art. But I had that capacity to blend. So I was very good in math, physics, all the tough courses.
Yeah.
I was also very good in history and some of the other courses. So I did both.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of the confusion.
Yeah.
Because I could have just gone the tech
The
way.
one part, then you just go straight on that path.
Yeah. But I was, unfortunately, unfortunately. That's what, confusion. Got a bit better when, in fact, that's one of the things that made me push to do psychology. Yeah, because my dad wanted me to do law. He's a lawyer. Somebody take over his chambers. Blah 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 blah. And I was having none of that, but I couldn't tell him that. So I just my jam form now. I just failed psychology, and hoping that we could submit without him
We find out.
finding out. So unfortunately, my mom gave it to him. Says, see what your son has has put as his degree, as whatever he wants to do. I thought you were trying to make him do law now. So I was already trembling.
Yeah, trembling.
And obviously being a very not normal person, says fantastic.
Is that fantastic?
Said fantastic choice.
Fantastic
choice. This is the as in you're even thinking you're even ahead of me. That's the best background for law. So it means he still wants me to do law, but the fact that I chose psychology means that I must be really smart.
No, that was not normal.
Hey, I was weak. Because I didn't do it because I wanted to study psychology.
Exactly. You did it because you wanted to run away from that part.
And I was shocked and afraid. In fact, fear just, doom just dawned on me. I said, oh my God. So I had to go and do psychology. But when I now did psychology, that's when I now appreciated it, because it now told me more about what I am and why I do the things I do and why I behave the way I behave. And also many whys started becoming clear. It also helped me so because of my nature. I was very extremely shy, timid, and all that, and it helped also get some confidence. Made me understand why I behave the way I behave, why I'm shy, why I'm timid. It now gave me confidence enough to be able to control that and say, oh, you are that there's a reason why you're shy.
Yes.
So now that when you're faced with social situation, okay, just tell yourself that even though you're shy, nothing will happen to you. Good to go ahead.
Yeah.
So all that's got bunched up into the psychology. So after the psychology, that's when I was now even very ready to do the law. At the same time,
at this
I was also
point,
working.
was it your choice? It was
Yeah.
Okay, it was your choice.
It was not my choice. Unfortunately, my dad had an accident in '94, which motivated me to actually go and do the law. So just like you had empathy, I also had empathy at that time. And what it meant was that my dad had an accident. We're going to be looking after him. Am I going to not do the law, knowing that I can?
Yeah.
I was already working. I was in youth service. I was in the bank. They were ready to keep me on. They didn't want me to go, but I deliberately chose to go and do the law and leave the bank. Why? Because I was like, it's not because he's now slightly incapacitated that he can't force me to go do the law. I'm going to do it now because, hey, I'm not going to let him down. Maybe that will even help him recover.
Yeah. My son.
So that's how we got there.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Wow, your story is different. It's different, but thank you for contributing to us from your story.
Yes, sir.
So if you have anything to say to I'll call us well not me because I feel like I passed that stage, but I'm still adulting. But if you have any advice to say to upcoming adults in between adulters and young adults and young adults, what would be like your top three biggest advices generally that you feel like you wish you knew, and now that you knew, if you could tell these things to your older self, what would that be to help us stop worrying and panicking and entering all form of like mental breakdown over changes that are occurring to us in this like times?
Yeah.
So a big question, but take your time.
Yes.
Breathe on it.
So I would say, well, the first thing is, yes, the first thing is that it's not that deep. That's the first thing.
Preach.
Never, it's not that deep. Trust me. Life. So the way I try to put it to people to see if they could get it, because fears will always come in.
Yeah.
Is that okay? I try to give them a practical example.
Okay.
So let's say you lose your parents. So let's say once you lose your parents, you don't have people that are making an income, and you are not. You're suddenly left without that.
Yes.
Next thing is you might not. You don't have money to buy food to eat. You don't have money to have shelter. You don't have money, so you're constantly thinking of doom. How so and so.
So you say doom.
So and I'll give an example of when I was younger, when I was maybe 19, and when my dad had the accident, he had to go away with my mom. They went to Switzerland and the UK to do lots of surgeries for that stuff, and they left us behind. So we had to take care of the businesses. There was a law firm, there was some other firms, a business center, a finance house. So basically at 19, my brothers were 16, 12, and all that. Two of us had to go take care of the business. Because we're already groomed in the business itself. I started work at 16. Once I left secondary school.
You mean like
Official work. So I joined my dad's law firm at 16. I was doing all the typing. So basically, by the way, there was a typing tutor as well. Yeah. So we learned how to use the manual typewriter. So we learned from that. Then passed on to going to the computer. So we used to use teaching aids or some games. We used to play games that will.
okay, yeah, what's her name?
For example, you have words.
Yes.
You have characters dropping
Dropping
down
that you
on
have to quickly
in a
press
city.
it.
So if it drops, it's going to blow up the city. So you have to keep typing them so that they don't drop
Fast,
and blow up the
yeah.
city.
I did one of those
So
ones.
it helps us. It helped really got us there. Yeah. So we that enabled me to start work with him, typing all his letters, all his blah, blah. I used to go to court, serve. I used to go to Alausa to do check the land. I used to go to CAC. I was doing all the stuff. I used to attend board meetings.
Wow.
So because of that, we were already groomed in that. So when the accident happened, we didn't panic
Yeah.
because we were already
used
in
to
there.
yeah.
But we didn't panic at first. Then it started getting to the point where things were happening in the economy at the time. It was Babangida, Moshe Abiola issue, and all the banks closed down. So apparently, we didn't have access to the accounts. So we couldn't get money. So that's when the panic was supposed to set in. We had someone in the house who was cooking, but she was not getting the money, so she was waiting for us to bring the money. Usually, it's our parents that bring the money. So maybe she's hoping that we'll call the parents.
For them to bring the money.
We didn't call parents. The phone was there, but we didn't call because we were used to
Solving problems yourself.
Yeah. So we had to go out to the street. Yes. So we'll go back to the office. We'll meet with the people that come to do work in the office. We'll tell them that we don't have access to, so you have to pay cash. Then they will pay the cash. They will take you home, give the woman, she'll go and buy food and we eat.
No, life is different though.
I'm just trying to say that
Yeah.
that experience taught us that no matter what, there's always something waiting.
Yeah.
So even if you lose your parents today, there's always a connecting factor somewhere. So you start with your family. Who are those in your family that are linked to you? Your parents have brothers and sisters. They have uncles. They have this. They have that. So automatically, knowing that they're there means that there's a chance. So the fact that there's a chance means that it's possible for you to. So fear should disappear once you can just tell your mind that there's a connecting factor to the parents that you have or to the lifestyle that you have that keeps you going right now.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it sounds very scary when you lose it. But if you just stop to think, remember that there's always somebody connected to you.
Yeah.
So if you can try and remember that, you shouldn't have that problem.
Yeah.
If you feel shy about it, I understand. I will
I
understand.
was going to say, because not everybody wants to go and be asking for help.
Not everybody.
It takes a whole, it takes a whole lot.
Yeah. But so I would also say, try and reach out to God as well. If you have a custom of prayer, and you pray, asking for wisdom,
Direction.
strength, direction, to be able to go and do what? It's just to reach out.
Yeah.
Just try and reach out to somebody that is in your network. Everybody has a support system, especially in Africa. Africa has the biggest support system. We're not detached. Like there's always an auntie, an uncle, a blah blah blah. Even your friends and even if you just find a way to the village, you're in Lagos, your parents come from this place in the east, just go there. Land there and tell them you're the son of so person. At least they will put you in the house and say, oh, we're going to the farm tomorrow to go and scoop the out.
In the 21st century, most people, I think that's great. I think in our times, a lot of people, first of all, are afraid of comparison, are afraid of looking less than, well, it still boils back to comparison. There's ego of asking for help because it then makes other people feel like you're not doing okay. And then it makes you feel inadequate because you're comparing yourself to other people who are your age or your same demography and they're somewhat doing okay. Or you also have a lot of like issues that have happened with family members where people don't even trust their family members. It's more like the friend that's taken closer than the brother is better than the uncle and the auntie, and for some people that's their reality. They don't believe in uncles or aunties or this or that. They just want to do it by themselves. So basically what you're saying is that we can't do life in isolation. We need support.
We need support. We should exploit that support for whatever temporary time that is required to get you back up again. And even if it's not your parents or your uncles or your aunties, it will be your friends that you came along with. They should not. There's always somebody that you connect with. Reach out to that person, no matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
There's always somebody. Just develop that
habit of asking, and not just financially, emotionally, mentally.
Just asking for help.
Yeah,
it's very, very crucial. So my dad one day walked into the room, or about maybe I was 14 or so, or 15, and apologized to us for not putting that as a factor in his teaching and training with us. He had trained us to be able to survive anything.
Yeah.
But he hadn't taught us how to.
The emotional part of asking
to go ask for help. So he came to apologize to us.
Wow.
I'm sorry, I didn't teach you how to do this.
No, that should have won Father of the Year award for many years running.
I didn't teach you how to do this, so please. He now started begging us. I beg of you, please. Yeah, I think it happened after that whole when they were away. Yes. Yeah. Because actually, what happened was he came back. So anytime we call phone, how are you guys? We're fine.
We're fine.
Drop the phone.
You didn't tell them that there was like
you didn't tell them we had to go out to get cash. We didn't tell them we had to go out and do it. You didn't tell them anything. So when they came back, guess what? Everything was intact. In those days, our friends used to sell. We sell. What was the most common thing we used to sell? I think it was not generator. was fridge or compressor. So my age mates, if you check them out when they were when they were 12, 13, 14, 15, almost every fridge in the house, you come back home one day and the fridge is not working.
Wait, what? They use the compressor to go and sell it.
Yes.
Wow.
Same thing with the AC if they can get to it. But the fridge was easiest because on the floor, on the ground.
People were wild back in the days.
Yes. So we didn't do it.
Yeah.
Parents came back, everything intact. So the tenant at the back came to join him. He was the GM of a bank. In fact, that's how I think that's how I even got to be working in that bank.
Yeah.
And when he got there, they started telling him all the things that we had gone through.
Wow.
He was like, but he was just next door now. All they have to do was just walk down. He will give us anything we want. He said, sorry, they weren't trained that way. So I think that's when he now got it that Akomo. He needs to let us. He can't
know that you guys need help.
Yes.
Wow.
So if anybody asks me, that's why I say, if anybody asks me today, what's that thing that I say, is that same thing?
Ask for help.
Find a way to help. Find a way to ask for help.
Yeah.
That's it.
So would you say, in one line, surviving adulthood is by asking for help?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I think it will be I've thought about it deeply.
Yeah.
I've used my mind of I can always solve it. I can always solve my problem. I can always solve it. And I do. People complain that Kwame, you don't do anything for yourself.
Yeah.
You're always doing things for
other people.
Do something for yourself. But I have seen the negative parts of just doing that. And seeing it with people, seeing it with myself. So I would say clearly, ask for help.
Thank you. That's brilliant. I'm not going to lie. I struggle with that sometimes, but now that I have my mentor, I'm always asking for help. But yeah, well, thank you so much, Kwame Nkrumah, the actual president, because the other one is the scam artist, is the real one. But thank you so much for coming through and blessing us with your wisdom.
Thank you.
And your very interesting childhood that all of us did not experience. And we're just thinking that, don't we have parents too? What were they doing?
I'm honored.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. High five.
Yes, so.
Let's bring you back to our age range. You mentioned 1984, 1990. I said, Lord, where was I then?
Don't worry, we're cool. I still roll with the Gen Zs.
I'm a millennium and we're best friends. So I'm your sidekick. So it's all good. Okay, so all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe. And if you're struggling with anything, please feel free to ask for help. I mean, we have a team of people. Kwame is the leader of the gang, like therapists. We have mental health coaches, me. We have a bunch of people who are willing to help you survive adulthood. And like Kwame said, ask for help. Or so please send me like a message, an email. I mean, don't you have like a team of people? Like instantly, like they will reach out to you. Like even if it's like, I'm going crazy.
Yes,
like
just call us.
Call. Like we'll drop a number and just call quickly and someone will attend to you really quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Bye guys. See you next time.
Bye.